Well, howdy there, y'all. Yamasaki here. Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're looking at an old tube tester. Now, if you guys didn't see my last video, I reviewed a 1936 Zenith 6B129 shortwave radio. And I explained in that video that it was my grandpa's, and we had gotten a couple of radios passed down to us. And that particular radio, the Zenith, was his personal radio that he used. It was heavily modified to be converted to run on either AC or 6 volt. And when I was a teenager, which was around 5-6 years ago now, I wanted to get these radios going. But I had no idea what I was doing at the time. I still don't, and I did mention in that video that I'm just a beginner in all this. But I knew I needed some tools to help me along the process. And I knew a tube tester was going to be a good investment, so I was looking around for one on eBay. I couldn't find any that worked or any that were in my price range. So I went on Facebook and I joined a couple of radio groups, and this little gem popped up. Tested working, and it came with the tube data chart as well as the manual. And I paid a pretty reasonable price for it. And I will mention I did already test these two tubes, but I am going to show you guys how this thing works. It's actually pretty simple, all because of this book. That was a big reason why I bought it, because it came with the original book, or at least a copied version of the manual. But it is a really small tube tester for its size. They make larger ones, way larger. But this one was just a nice little one that I decided to get, and I will show you how it works. So how this thing works is, by the way guys, if any of you out there know what this tube tester actually is, please let me know if this is a belt buckle, because it looks like a belt buckle, but it just feels too flimsy. I do also like the little carrying handle that they have with it. So how this thing works is you have your vacuum tube out of your vintage radio or TV, and you need to test if it's okay. You'd use one of these tube testers, and basically what this is for is to test the tubes. So you got all these different sockets from where you put your tubes in. Got your meter right here, which will tell you if it's good, bad, or who the hell knows. You got these knobs, all these knobs. You have your test switch right here, which that is what you would use to test it. But if you're not testing it, it's on a shorts circuit, so it'll automatically tell you with this LED if it's leaking or it has a short in it. And then all these slide switches and knobs I will show you in this book here. Not only does this book tell you all the every single tube there is on the planet. I mean, there's literal pages of tubes. I mean, this is all tubes for radios and TVs. They're called, I don't know where. It's got to be somewhere, but anyway, how this works is I'll set it up. You got to turn these, so each tube has a different setting with all these switches and stuff. So for example, as I said, I already tested these tubes. This one is a 1H4. So just to show you what you would do if you had a 1H4 tube, you would go to the very beginning. And what I like about this is all organized by number and alphabetical order. So you have 1A, 1B, 1C, 1E, 1G, 1H, 1J, K, I, L, N, N, P, Q, R, S. It's all in alphabetical order and numbered. So then if we turn the page, we start getting into the 2s, the 3s, which is really nice, really handy. So if we need right there, a 1H4. I'm going to go down to 1H4. Right here is 1H4. Right there. So then you see at the top it's got X, Y, Z, test, and open. Those are your settings. So for a 1H4 we need X at 7, Y at B, Z at 2, and test 5 switch. So how that would work is I'll plug it in, turn that to 4, turn that to 7, B and 2, and then hit the test switch. So that's what we're going to do with this one. Now you'll note these tubes are really discolored. They're probably on their way to the dumpster. This one tested bad, this one tested good, and this one is really hard to read. But maybe you can see that. That is a... please show. It's kind of a pain in the butt to see, but this is a 1J6. A 1J6 right there. Probably can't see it. 1J6 right there. So we have to go to 1J6 and right there. Now it's got two 1J6s. I'm not sure what the difference is, but this one is a 1J6G, but it doesn't say. I tested it on the 5 and it worked, but if not, we'll test it on the 4, but I already tested it. So what you would do is on these octal tubes, this one is an octal tube, so it'll go up here. Got a little notch right there, so we line that notch up, we stick her in, got to plug her in first. So we'll go ahead and plug her in. Now, like it said, 1J6, we got to turn X to 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Y is B. Z is 3. And then for the test switch, it's going to be 5 all the way up. Now I'll move the camera here so you guys can see what happens. So when I hit that switch, it should test good on the meter, which it does. Not really well, but it tests. Tests good. So I know it works. Now these tubes are out of, if I remember correctly, a Zenith. I think it was a 1937 Zenith 5F233 cube radio. It was a battery powered radio. This thing either got used hard or something shorted in it and screwed these tubes up, because these things are really discolored. One more thing you want to note is do not touch these metal contacts within these sockets. It's got AC current running through it and it probably will zap your ass. And that doesn't sound fun. But pretty much, guys, that's pretty much it. All I have to show you. I really like this. It's a nice little piece of kit. It'll go along great on the shelf with my dim bulb tester for radio equipment, I guess. I do want to try and get into this hobby, so it's good I have this thing now. I'll be hopefully testing some of the tubes that are in that Zenith 6B129 to make sure they're good. There's only one tube I know of, and that's the first one I tested. It will not fit this tube tester. It's not compatible with it, unfortunately. But yeah, well, I hope you enjoyed this video, guys. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment for more content. And Yamasaki out. See y'all later. And hopefully we'll get to see this thing in action on some radio restorations in the future.